Today's video is about how I got started in photography, just a little bit. I'm actually mostly going to be sharing about my testimony, which is about how I came to believe what I believe. And this video is actually going to be also talking about how I got adopted twice and how I got started in photography and how God led me into it. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Abby and I predominantly talk about photography and a little bit of fashion, social media, and travel here on my channel. But today's video is actually a collaboration with my friend Abigail from Truth Be Told here on YouTube. She is such a bold sharer of the Bible and God's Word on her channel, so make sure you go check out her video down below. She's going to be sharing her favorite Christian YouTubers, so you don't want to miss that. Well, first of all, I was born into a family of 8 children. I had a single mother. She couldn't quite take care of all of us, so she wanted my baby brother to get adopted, but I was the one who got adopted. That was all God. I got adopted at age 3. I grew up in a Christian church. My dad was a pastor, and so I've been hearing the gospel throughout my whole childhood, but it was only when I was 5 years old that I actually got to talk to my dad's cousin about the gospel a little closer, and I professed my salvation then. And if you don't know what saved means or salvation means, it basically means that I was rescued from the penalty of my wrongdoing. So all of us, we all sin. Being a sinner, you're not good enough to go to heaven. We all sinned at the very beginning when Adam and Eve sinned and carried on the sin nature throughout the human race. God was able to rescue me from the penalty of sin, which is hell. And so that's what it means by being saved. So anyway, I grew up in that environment, Christian environment, and then when I was 9 years old, my family actually moved to the States. My mom was recruited as a nurse, and that's all God. Oh my word, guys. So in 2006, my family actually moved to New Jersey, where if you know New Jersey, it's very much, public school system, not the best environment, and I tried to fit in, and I definitely was not a Christ-like example that you would want to be. But back in 2007, a year later, we got to move down to South Carolina, which is definitely a different environment than New Jersey. I started attending this private Christian school, and when I got there, like the first day, I could sense a difference in the environment, and not just because, it was the South and everybody was more conservative, but no, there was just some kind of peace about the people, and it was really because they believed in Jesus. So in 4th grade, I still tried to fit in, but it was really in 5th grade when my family, so we're all required to attend this special Bible conference, and my family attended one, and at this specific night service, this pastor was preaching about his own salvation when he was little. He also got saved, but when he was later in his teens, he started doubting his salvation. I was all the way in the balcony, and it just felt like he was speaking my own doubts to me. I had started doubting my salvation because, coming from a different country, different state, trying to fit in with the world, to be cool, to be popular. I started doubting my salvation because I wasn't living for Jesus. But at that night service, I definitely broke down, and I just remember talking to my dad afterwards in the car, and I started just asking him, how do I know if I'm really saved? How can I be assured? And that night, my dad took me to my room, and we kneeled down, and I remember crying. It's a very vivid memory, and I was praying that Jesus would just assure to me that I was saved, because I felt like when I was 5 years old, that's when I got saved, but it was such a long time ago. Sometimes you kind of wonder, did I actually really believe that, or did I just make up that I believed it? But no matter what, whether or not I got saved when I was 5 or when I was in 5th grade, when I was 11, I believe that because I did profess faith and I was so repentant of my sin, I knew I couldn't save myself, and that only Jesus could take care of my sins and wash it all away clean. I do believe that I am saved, whether it was when I was 5 or when I was 11. It's about what you believe in and how you realize that you're not worthy of anything. You don't deserve heaven. You cannot save yourself, and you cannot keep doing something to save yourself. God has already done what needs to be done. You cannot do anything. But I remember in 6th grade, that's when I kind of tried to turn a new leaf. In middle school, I started kind of drifting away from the friends that I had because I knew that they weren't a great godly example to me. And how I got started in photography is really later on. I joined high school yearbook in junior year of high school. I got to take a camera on our senior trip. It was a missions trip to New York. I got to experience photography for the very first time. I had always loved photography. I had like a little point and shoot, but this one was a true Nikon DSLR. I took that camera to college and I joined an organization, and I was their creative director and I helped with marketing, and that's actually how I got my very first bride. And it's just so cool how God really uses everything, and I'm so thankful because He can definitely use a passion that you have and even multiply it even more. Anyway, that is how I got adopted once from my birth family in the Philippines, and then how I got adopted twice into God's family. And I hope that all makes sense. Please let me know if you have any questions down below. But thank you so much guys for watching, and I'll talk to you later.